Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in on this episode. I've got 3BAC in his Tier 7 Polish heavy tank, the Habicha. Good tank. I really like this tank. He is here on Muravanka, driving over to the cap circle on an encounter mode. Several things to talk about here. This is not something I will do, but we'll talk about it as we go. He's got a Leopard on the cap already, beating up his M7. He takes that guy down, drives around, takes that opportunity, but now he's kind of stuck in the middle here. He is top tier in a 357, and that's going to work out for him. Let's talk a little bit about shot selection right here. Sees the T29 coming, sees the Leopard coming, he goes after the Leopard. Ends up working out for him because he gets the Leopard dead. We'll see that in just a moment. I think, though, I would have shifted my target to the T29 and taken some hit points off of that guy. It's going to work out for him because he doesn't take any damage, but had that T29 traded better, it looks like he's going, there we go. Had it traded better, he would have shaved off some hit points from our hero very quickly right there. Now the Leopard is tracked and he doesn't have a repair kit or burned it. So like I said, it works out, but if I was looking at the best solution, I would have definitely gone after that T29. You saw him come around the corner. Now we're going to have another issue right here. We're going to talk about it as you peek because there's a lot of guns left in the game. So coming around blind corners that you haven't looked at yet, especially since you already know the Churchill 7 is there, and more than likely some of those TDs are in the back there. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to show you how he did it. He's going to come around here, zoomed in, and he sees the T29. But before he actually came out too far, there was the Churchill back there. So if he had stopped back here and just poked enough to take a shot on the Churchill, he wouldn't have exposed himself to all of those tanks right there. In addition to all that, look how he's coming out sideways to them as opposed to carving a little bit to the right and putting some front armor to them, maybe even angled. Potentially getting a shot on that Churchill and then putting his best armor profile to the T29. He gets the shot on the T29 but suffers a shot from the KV-1 and the Churchill. KV-1 bounces, Churchill goes through, as does the TD I talked about, the Panzer Fizzle 4 thing back in the back. So there's an opportunity there to not take as much damage and to trade much better. Be careful then about poking around blind corners early in the game when there is as many guns in the game. This is a good SA. He notices this guy's there, hits him. I do that as well. He accepts the shot in the side in order to put that shot into that guy, but now he's got a bit of a problem. There's a T67. Now he knows where the T67 is. He's going to come around. 3002 must be busy or was on a reload. Those things reload really fast, so I'm surprised he didn't take another hit, but he may have been looking at something else. Now here's the good thing about what's going on here. He's got an 01 and a KV-2, Panzer 4H, all HE firing guys. There's an AT-8. Not really helping him way in the back. And there's a GW Panther all looking this way, keeping these guys honest. Over on the east side, they're losing. And we'll watch as he works this. And let's get into going to this spot to begin with, which I mentioned early on. Not a fan of that. That was a good shot there. You might as well see if you can get one through there. Because you're basically just sitting on the cap, they know where you are, and that gives them the opportunity to work on the east side, clear your guys up, and then figure out how to come in at you from multiple directions. The 01 and the KV-2 are doing some good work. I think you really had opportunities here, even though there was a T67 and a Panzer Fizzle back there, to do some hold-down turret poking by moving your front hole a little bit more towards them right here, and just picking at the guys that come outside on the echelon. I think you definitely could have put some shots in there. Now you're starting to work this 43 BIS. There's that 67. One thing I'll do when I see that, I will go ahead and look straight down that line and go, okay, that's where he is. That's the sight line he has. So every time I come around the corner, I'm going to get hit, but I'll investigate that just to see exactly where that guy is. Sometimes I'll even click there. People might be paying attention. Artie might be looking over there. If you get it lit, they might be ready. See, these guys are just firing back and forth, back and forth. And again, I think you maybe had an opportunity. Had you not traded so many hit points earlier, you might have been able to do that a little more confidently, but you are dealing with the P43 up top. Came up a little high, unfortunately. Didn't have the depression you wanted, and that guy gets a shot. Bad trade for you right there. Now we're going to let auto aim do the work, but again, another bad trade, and now we're down 500 hit points, and basically a one-shot to nearly everything that's left, minus some of the things like the T67. You miss right there, and then we're going to get very lucky. This ends up being a very good game, but getting lucky is part of very good games. You guys are going to double tap this dude. I'm thinking, well, he's going to get you because you don't have enough alpha to do him, but there he goes. M7 saw it as well. And now we're coming around doing what I thought you probably could have done a little bit earlier. Nicely done right there. Is to work on those guys. And again, we're dealing with the idea that we're getting surrounded. We've got the KV-1 here. You did need to clear him out. That was good. Kind of surprised the Panzerfizzle thing didn't shoot you in here. Several opportunities for him to shoot you right in the side. He may have been busy or repositioning. And this was a good move here. Now, we are stubbornly going to sit on the cap right here, and that's not really something that I would do. I would move up and make sure that we got rid of this Hellcat. One of the problems, though, is, of course, that something like that may be sitting there, which you bounce. Bouncing him was huge. Hellcat takes down the KV-2, get a nice little aim onto his upper superstructure, top part of his casemate, and take him down. And again, I would push in and get rid of this Hellcat. This guy has to go. You can use the armor of that P-43, just get a little bit closer, expose your turret a little bit. He does have a lot of pin, so I understand the care that you're taking this with this. And unfortunately that misses. He's tearing him up. Then the artillery takes down that guy. Now the AT-8 getting shot in the back by the T-67. I think you rushed this shot quite a bit. And it looks like you took a gun hit as well, so that may have hurt your aim. There's the Panzerfizzle. He may have been actually repositioning. Had you aimed a little bit more careful with the 67, I think you would have got a shot on him. That would have connected. Very surprised the M12 has not taken you out. There's the shot. He tries to do it. Unknown what he was shooting at before, but he did not seem to be shooting at you. Probably the two derping guys over there. 67. All right, so he appeared on the map, and you were a little bit late to see him. He comes in. He actually gets 109 on you and leaves just enough hit points. You shave some off on the collision, and he goes down. And one of the weaknesses of a 67 is that its turret is extremely slow. So he suffered in that case. Tried to turn his turret in his hole, but that actually took him down. That little assault. Another case of rushing a shot. That guy wasn't even looking at you. That's important. He was definitely looking at the 25-2. You could have waited up there, zoomed in, and shot him. If he started to swing his gun, then pop down. Take the shot and pop down. But a little bit of a rush shot probably left those hit points on the table. There's a nice hit. And down he goes. All right, the rest of it is just chasing the enemy artillery round, who, wonder of wonders, drowns himself at the end. Fantastic. I think you had plenty of time. You're going to sit on the cap this whole time. I would say go look for the Arty for about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 3, and then head back to the cap, jump on it, and win. Between you and the T-25, it's very likely you'd find him. What's funny is your GW Panther gets on the cap. I'm not going to make everybody watch this. Sits in one place. I don't know if he went to get a coffee or what, but he actually gets hit by Arty twice because he's sitting in the same place, which resets you a couple times. But eventually, you guys end up winning. Nice job, though, man. 7 kills, 3,101 damage, fighting multiple directions. A couple cases got a little bit lucky, but that's how good games happen. It's not really whether you get lucky, it's what you do with it. But I think my point, my greater meta point, is one of the reasons I don't go sit on the cap like that is because it allows the enemy to dictate the engagement a lot more than you can dictate the engagement. And in a couple cases, I think you could have dictated it a little better by not trading poorly, and in a couple cases coming around that corner and seeing if you could hit the outside guy in the echelon, be a little more aggressive to clear out the dudes, the big heavies that were right in front of you. That would have made your fighting multiple angles much easier. But overall, again, sitting on a cap and letting them know you're there is not really the best idea. Still, as I said, you won the game. Nice job. Thanks for sending in. See ya.